2006, Wendel graduated from Emory University with a BA in philosophy and minors in economics and theater. He worked in film, theater, finance, law, real estate, mortgages, healthcare, and counseling. He's been busy. He worked with infants in daycares, preteens in camps, and teenagers in youth groups. He started his first business at 19 years old and his second in 2011. He has an 8-year-old daughter for whom his love has no limits. And in July 2012, he had a major out-of-body experience and received divine guidance to assist humanity through its process of spiritual evolution. He began his work as a spiritual teacher, healer, counselor, inspirational speaker, and minister of metaphysics. He is a testimony to the healing power of self-understanding. Through a process of continuous self-healing, he has overcome abuse, injustice, racism, judgment, depression, and worse. Life is not easy, but he can definitely help you make it a bit easier. Everybody, please welcome Wendel Matthews.
Thank you so much. Wow, who wrote that, huh? I'm so thankful for this opportunity. It's so validating and comforting to see all of you here. It means so much to me to see each soul in this room. Like she said, my name is Wendel Matthews. I'm an inspirer, I'm a writer, I'm a spiritual counselor. And you guys are in for a show today. There's no question about it, because this talk is Love is Your Protection. And just minutes ago, my father texted me and he said that he didn't believe that I would do anything meaningful in my life. That's what he just told me. Right before I come to do a talk about how love is your protection. Quite meaningful topic in front of meaningful people, all meaningful spirits, you see. So instead of calling me Wendel today, call me the pudding. Because the proof is in the pudding, right? That's what they say. You know, remember Bill Cosby? Ooh, the Jell-O pudding, remember that? The proof is in the pudding. Now in July 2012, we had a shared out-of-body experience, me and my partner, Wilder Rivera. We left our bodies together. We both saw some of the same things, and we also saw some different things, and then we returned together. So just like a foot and an arm on the same body, they may have different perspectives, but they're still attached. They're still there together. And she so eloquently had stated that after we got back, because I was like, hey, what happened? What was that? But this is the pudding I'm talking about. I'm talking about the pudding that I am and that you are, because that was the proof that we got. You see, when I came back into my body, the water squirted through my ears. It got on the pillows. It got on a Wilda. It's pulled up in here. It was a major change in air pressure. It was because before I had left my body, the tears had ran back to the back of my eye ducts. So when my spirit came back into my body, it pushed those tears out of my ears because I came back in through my head. So this function of the spirit, this function of our existence, this proof of our pudding, I had this real experience with it. And it was validation not just for me, but for all of us, that we all have this pudding. This is our connection. The fact that you're here means you're divine. You're divine because you're alive. You're alive because you're worth it. You see, you already have meaning. That can't be stripped from you. And then that truth, there's that protection. And truth intuitively leads the truth seeker towards unconditional love. The search for truth leads you to unconditional love. So some messages that came through. You're chosen, you're divine, you're infinite, you're eternal, you're love, you're unconditional. That is your nature. We just tend to get in the way of the truth of ourselves. So many things get attached to our lives that we didn't originally come with. But we're here to move civilization forward. as the pudding, as the proof that we're connected to the source of all creation, we're actually here with that same power, with that same access to move civilization forward. Well, think about it. Intuitively, would we now go back to grabbing clubs and living in caves? No. We would actually promote a better state of existence. That's why we have houses, that's why we have cars, this is why we're doing all these things in our new age, technologically advanced age. It's really to move civilization forward. The question is, can we move forward doing more of the same? Because what has gotten us here? See, the devil's advocate, the person, many people would say that war, egocentric thinking, right, competition, those are the things that got us here. We built the country on the backs of slaves. We built the country, we built our everything by taking it away from someone else, by competing for it, by warring with one another. So somebody would say to me, Wendell, that was necessary. That's how we got here. And war is inevitable, they'll say. Right? Well, I'd say, well, no, not necessarily. Conflict, sure, that's inevitable. But we have a choice. We can make that constructive. War, that's not necessarily inevitable. It got us here, but doing those same things won't get us to the next level. It won't get us to grow at that same rate that we did in the past. We actually now have to learn to evolve. So what are the new values? What are the new values that would get us to that next level? Holistic thinking, peace, compassion, empathy, collaboration. These things. And how do you get to these values? Well, focus on unconditional love would take you right to it. It would take you right to it. Think about those values, collaboration, peace. Those are the things that helped us get rid of the Jim Crow era. You guys remember that, right? It was a promotion of peace. It was a promotion of unity and collaboration, inspired out of unconditional love. Remember, MLK was a preacher. He was connected to the source. It was inspiration out of unconditional love that made him act. Take action that elevated our state of being to a higher state, one where we're more accepting of one another. So that was the evolution. And it began with unconditional love, using that to raise a vibration, raise our beliefs, raise our values, shift our perspective. Every spiritually transformative experience doesn't involve a pharmaceutical. It involves a shift, just a shift in your perspective. And that shift could be the world of healing. It could mean everything. So think about it. So this is the theme of it. The theme of Spiritual Living Center right now is I am peaceful, right? And love is your protection. Love will protect that peace. We learn from silence that peace already is. Peace already is. All you can do is disturb it, right? You can embrace it, you can be one with it, or you can disturb that peace. But that peace already is. It's us that get in the way, right? So all we have to do is really change the way that we respond. And we can change the way we respond to anything based on what we focus on. The truth is, whatever you become, whatever you focus on, you become. That's the gift and the curse. That's the power of the pudding. That is you. That is your spirit. That is your connection. So you focus on love, you'll become that. You'll embody that. You'll personify that. You'll attract more of it. Think about it. Who remembers Family Matters? Remember, raise your hand, Family Matters. Right? I used to love the show. Right? And there was an episode with Carl Winslow. He was dealing with anger management issues. Does anybody remember this? He had a situation where he got a tool. He got a tool from the anger management company, and it went something like this. 3, 2, 1. 1, 2, 3. What the heck is bothering me? Right? And, every time he got upset, this is what he would say. 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. What the heck is bothering me? And he did this throughout the whole show, and you saw no change in his ability to deal with his emotions at all. And finally, it was all about Urkel, right? Finally, he was like, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3. What the heck is bothering me? It's you, Urkel, you. And then you saw the rage come out. You saw the fury. It was hilarious. But the learning moment is in that mantra. That mantra didn't work. But the thing about mantras is that it's scientifically proven to promote physical and emotional awareness. Physical and emotional awareness, specifically emotional awareness, emotional sensitivity, emotional intelligence. That That helps you evolve your behavior. That helps you manage your anger. It helps you manage your emotions. It helps you respect other people. It helps you be more sensitive to the energies of others. It helps you to change and shift energies around you merely in your presence. So all begins with emotional intelligence. It's super evolved. And we're moving into that era. We're moving into that age. That's why we're sitting here and even listening to this. So why didn't his mantra work? Since mantras do work, right? Mantras do work. Why didn't his work? Well, let's break it down. We could take the counting out and just think about what the heck is bothering me. If I put that in my head, the two things I'm focusing on, the thing bothering me and being bothered. Now, if I focus on being bothered, I'm pretty much just going to get fidgety and uncomfortable. I'm pretty much going to be just uncomfortable in my own space. Nobody has to bother me. If I just focus on being bothered, I'm like, oh, I hate being bothered. I don't like that. I don't like being frustrated. It's not going to get me anywhere. The focus needs to shift. So I'm giving you something else. I'm giving you love is my protection. This is something that came to me. It helps me. It helps me because it places the focus on love. It places the focus on love as your protection. It removes the focus from being bothered, and it places the focus on love. The more you focus on it, the more you'll begin to understand it intuitively. The more it'll come to you. The more you understand it, the more you realize you are it already. That's the pudding. Once you realize that, then you realize you're already protected. Who's getting bothered again? Are we focused on being bothered? Or are we already now focused on the fact that we're already protected? Because energetically, boom, like light, that changes your aura. Read Barbara Ann Brennan's Hands of Light. Everything changes when you shift your energetic state, when you shift your thinking. What happens when you focus on the word love? My neighbor, he's very, very, very into spirituality. He's very into taking care of the environment. He's very into growth and transformation. And he loves trees. He felt like he was using too many napkins. So he took the Post-it note, put love on it, and put it on top of the napkin dispenser. He goes over to the napkin dispenser now, and he thinks twice. He stops, and he thinks of another way to dry his hands. Another way. What happens when you focus on love? Well, sometimes me and Awilda, we get into arguments. No one's perfect, right? We're all working on it. We're all learning. But when we're in the middle of a heated argument and I let it come into my head that love is my protection. When I let that push all that other negative stuff, all the wanting to be right, all of that stuff out, and I put the love is my protection in there, suddenly I think of other ways. Suddenly I think of other approaches to resolve the conflict in a constructive manner. Solution-oriented, but with unconditional love as the source for all of your solutions. That's the power of focusing on love. Naturally, organically, and intuitively, solutions just begin to show themselves. And they're much healthier than the ones that resonate with the ego in the time where you're emotionally heightened and frustrated or bothered. Because that solution is to tell somebody off. That solution is to use fear or intimidation to get what you want. That solution will destroy your relationships. Right? This is about improving your relationships to improve your quality of life. This is about promoting those ideas of peace and collaboration, harmony. But I could talk about love is my protection all day, right? What is unconditional love? You think about a mother's love. If you think about a mother's love, you see that it takes all kinds of forms, all kinds of ways, right? And some people, look, I've had all kinds of friends. Some people's mothers weren't there like that. So if that doesn't resonate with you, think about who was like a mother to you. A grandmother, a sister, an aunt. It could be a father figure. But who loved you unconditionally? And what was that like? This is how you can get to the practical applications of something that we talk about all the time, that we put up on walls all the time, but becomes so difficult to define because it needs to be learned. It must be participated in. It's a process. So, a mother's love. There's acceptance, there's healing energy, there's truth, there's wisdom, affection, clarity, empathy. Sometimes there's tough love, there's detachment, right? There's approval, there's strength. Listen, All these different things. And these energies combined form the unconditional love that is what a mother offers. And all those energies are protective. Isn't a mother protective? Isn't a mother's love protective? Isn't her intuition protective? Doesn't she call you at the right time and tell you to leave? You need to bring your butt home. You know what I mean? It's protective. And it begins with your spiritual connection. It begins with the truth of the unconditional love that you share, and it strengthens that bond. What healthy benefits have you experienced from unconditional love? This is about truly harnessing it practically in your life. Not in some foofy, hippie, la-la way, but in a way that really improves your decision-making, your finances, your relationship with your children, yourself, your planet, environment, trees, everything. Everything. See, so love is composed of a combination of strengthens our bonds. Most importantly, it's a product of constructive conflict. It's a product of the forces coming together and working well and creating harmony. See, it's conflict that's inevitable, but constructive conflict is our choice. That's our co-creative capacity. What's life without constructive conflict, conceptually? Well, that would be a life where there was wars. A lot of wars and no music. No music. So how good was Yoshi just now? No music. Because you need constructive conflict for music. You need the harmonious sounds. You need those waves to come together, unified, for the sound to be good. Otherwise, no dice. So we need constructive conflict. That needs to be on the forefront of our thinking. Unconditional love is constructive conflict. It is a constructive combination of energies. It does promote harmony and balance. We do see that in the physical world, in the creation, on the lands that we live on. All these planets are rotating together simultaneously, all these galaxies, nobody's crashing into each other. There's harmony and balance already here. This is a product of a combination of forces, constructive conflict. What are the effects of not being loved? This more practical understanding of unconditional love, because love is your protection. So we can back into it all kinds of ways. Look at the situations where people, things are not being loved. A baby dies within the first 6 months if it's not touched. You leave it in the bin, they'll feed it. They could feed it. They learn this in all the NICU units, all the preemie units. You feed the babies. If you don't touch them for the first 6 months, they die. Oxytocin. Oxytocin is released when a healing touch is applied. Oxytocin makes the body feel the way the spirit feels. Good. Oxytocin is the best grief medication you could have. You see, giving somebody a hug is healing. You can't give anybody any medication, any pharmaceutical, to truly help them deal with the loss of a loved one. There needs to be a spiritual connection established. There needs to be a spiritual shift that happens. It comes with unconditional love. Adults who don't have unconditional love in their life. Adults who can't say, I've ever been unconditionally loved. They quickly don't see that to be is love already. Consciousness is love already. And the moment you understand that, you begin to love being. But if you don't have an understanding, you didn't really focus on unconditional love in your life, you don't understand that, an adult quickly becomes a lost soul. They quickly no longer love being. And then they're no longer, they're not loving. And it becomes very difficult. And mental health and suicide rates and all those things are things that us as a global population, we still can't really get a hold on. Because we're still, as a collective, trying to get a better understanding of ourselves. Unconditional love will protect you from that misunderstanding and get you closer to the truth of yourself faster. Immune system shuts down for 4 hours after 5 minutes of rage. Rage is not unconditional love, and it leaves your immune system completely unprotected, your physical body completely unprotected. This is about as straightforward as it gets. If you have less than 6 relationships, close relationships, you're 4 times less likely to fight off the viruses that cause the common cold. So this is more about the nature of your relationships, your connection to unconditional love, what kind of quality of life you're living. It affects your immune system. It leaves you unprotected when you don't have true love in your life, unconditional love. Not talking about the romantic love that gets us all caught up, because when we equate this love to a romantic sense, then we end up using each other with our expectations of love. We end up draining one another. But with this greater macro level understanding of unconditional love, we can actually apply these values and improve our intimate and personal relationships as well by doing less taking and giving, do more giving. See? My daughter had a dream. Wouldn't it be nice if you could protect your kid in their dreams? Wouldn't it be nice? Unconditional love will do this for you. One night she woke up and she said, oh, no, this is the next morning, she woke up and she said, Daddy, I had a nightmare last night. I said, oh my gosh, how come you didn't come in? She said, oh, it was fine. So what do you mean it was fine? She was like 6, 7 years old at the time. She said, well, this dark spirit was chasing me, and I was like, oh my God. And she's like, yeah, well, you know, it got kind of scary, but then I was like, well, I'm just going to tell it everything that I love. And I was like, oh, oh, wow. So I said, I love God. I love my mom. I love my dad. I love deer. She has a little spirit animal that she sleeps with, her little stuffed deer. A deer plays with her in her dreams sometimes, an actual deer. I love deer. I love the Disney Channel. I love love. Oh, he didn't like that one. He began to disappear. And she woke up happy. She woke up empowered because the knowing, the truth of it. She put it into action. She put it into practice. And best believe she was protected. Bless you. She was protected. This is a process. This process of protection, it's a process because it's a process of understanding. Understanding unconditional love. It purifies the spirit. It purifies your energy. I could have walked in here super down. My dad just told me I wasn't going to be anything. Didn't you hear all the list of stuff she said I did already? Isn't that crazy that in that moment, that doubt could creep in there just because of how close somebody is? Love is my protection. There's love in truth. So you can't take anything away from me, let alone meaning. No, not at all. Totally protected. And I'm purified. I'm purified because I'm focused on love. So I wasn't carrying any negative energy. I'm not thinking about any negative energy, and it prevents me from going back into that space. That purity is preventive. You take a baby in the NICU, a dying baby, and you take a baby that's doing well, neonatal intensive care unit, NICU, and you take a baby that's doing well and you place it next to it, and that purity rubs off, and the baby that's not doing so well, it starts to come around. So you purify yourself, and those people around you that really weren't really cutting it, those people around you that were rubbing you the wrong way, just give it a little time. Just be a little more patient. Be a little more committed to unconditional love. And I promise you, you'll laugh at the results. You love it because it's like magic the way that you shift the energies of other people just in your presence, just in the understanding of truth that you carry with you. This understanding of love, the process of purifying the spirit, it removes thought bacteria and emotional blockages, the walls that we create through a process of self-avoidance. So when you think with your heart, when you think with love in mind, it begins to get rid of some of these darker, negative thought patterns, and it begins to bring up some of this intuitive, graceful, wonderful, prosperous truth, full of abundance, acceptance, and compassion. Really, full of all the endless possibilities that are ideas. This is the space that we're talking about. Any solution you want, you can get it from this space. You place your focus on unconditional love, and it accepts you as you are in your totality. It stops you from letting your past get in the way of your future decisions. It removes the subconscious that so quickly and so often blocks us from our personal growth and transformation. It removes that, and it accepts you. And what's acceptance? Acceptance, it breaks down that whole wall. That process of acceptance, that's the acceptance of a new truth. That means that I'm actually here and I'm ready to be there. I'm not going to fool myself and say I'm here already when I'm really back there. Because one of us feels like a ghost. I probably need to step back and catch up to myself. You want to accept the truth of unconditional love. It attunes you to the vibration of unconditional love. It makes harsh realities less harsh when you don't avoid them. Unconditional love will lead you to truth and accept the truth faster. Let's say you're about to go homeless. Let's say you're about to go homeless. It happens to not everybody, but it happens. It totally happens. Let's say you're about to go homeless. If you avoid the truth of that, likelihood is you would already be, at that moment, prolonging the time span that you end up being homeless. However, the quicker you embrace that truth that makes you feel so ashamed that you may go homeless, is the quicker that you'll take action, use resources, leverage your personality or whatever you got to prevent that from happening. The truth will protect you from yourself. The truth will get you out of the way of your peace. It's fear that makes you vulnerable. It's fear that makes you afraid of the truth. And this weakens you. Your ego will make you fearful of the consequences of your choices. In that time, turn to your higher self. It's like a two-way street. Your higher self would link you intuitively to unconditional love. If you turn to unconditional love, it'll intuitively link you to higher self. You'll follow your highest and best guidance either way you go. Higher self work. We do self-discovery workshops. We offered a relationships workshop here. It was really awesome. It was really great. In order to get some of the exchange going, I offered some information about the contentious relationship that I have with my father. I got a crazy healing experience in that moment from one of the people who attended the workshop, because he said to me, based on everything you said, Wendell, I understand where you're coming from, but it seems like you didn't appreciate or accept the ways in which your dad loved you, the ways in which he chose to love you. So I had one expectation, but he was doing a different thing. He's caught up in the ego, materialistic world. He's caught up in social status and corporate America and success by these popular social measurements, not necessarily by a spiritual barometer of any sort. I, being more intuitive, it didn't really jive with me, and so we butted heads a lot. Nonetheless, when that moment happened, I said, he's right. We should all look in the past with a love lens. Put your unconditional love glasses on and look back. There's a moment, there's a person, there's a thing from your childhood, from your middle ages. There's a moment of infidelity or trust. There's an expectation that never got fulfilled. There is something that you have, we all do, that deserves a second look with unconditional love. Once I did that, I thought of there was so many things, like a wave of things just came and purified all my thinking. He took us to so many amusement parks. He took us on trips. He played cards. We played hearts all the time. It was cool. We played rummy. It was awesome. These different ways. Whenever he talked to me, we'd have these intellectual conversations. It wouldn't be about love, but I love intellectual stuff. I like to learn. And we would talk for 2-3 hours. It was really cool. He was loving me in those moments. Even if he was condescending, it was his way. And I had to embrace that. That was healing for me. I can move on now. See what I'm saying? Oh, of course, many people could be stuck there. But love is your protection. When you look at the past with a love lens, it promotes the growth and healing. It promotes the learning of lessons that will allow you to move forward. And that's really what blocks us. It's our willingness to learn and accept the truth of a lesson and then put it into practice, integrate it. Here's the truth. Unconditional love attracts more unconditional love. That works, and that's really fun. Because after you cleanse the mind and the heart and you're fully open to unconditional love, it becomes so much easier to believe in the truth of angels, to believe in the truth of lost loved ones that watch over you and guide you, to believe in the truth of your connection to the source of all creation, to believe in the truth of your higher self, to believe in the truth of the saints, to believe in the truth of the gifts that we all have, the love that can come through anybody, to believe in the love that's in each person. You know how many people I've run into who say, I know I'm supposed to love everybody, but I don't know. It's not easy. But the more you truly harness that connection to unconditional love, the more you look into somebody's eyes and you see the love in them. And they're like, oh my God, he saw something in me that I wasn't looking at when I look in the mirror, but now I feel different. Something happened. When you harness this power, you create a self-sustaining core of unconditional love. This is renewable energy source in here. This is limitless inspiration. This is the go. Literally, nothing is going to make me doubt myself. Nothing. No. And that's the unconditional love in there. There's nothing that's really going to hold me back from pursuing my dreams. My will is aligned with divine will because my focus is on the source of all creation, unconditional love, which I am. I'm fully connected through and through, the whole deal. That's the power. That's the protection. I'm protected just by virtue of having this talk. What, somebody going to judge me for talking about love? No. They would have to look at themselves. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to help you connect to the truth that's in you. Not how disconnected you are from love. I'm trying to help you see that you know it already, that you are it already, that you're protected already. And once you understand the truth of that and you harness that full scope of that connection, you're inspired to act in a great way, in a big way, in a big way. Think about George Clooney. He went out to Syria 2 years before Obama admitted to them using chemical weapons over there and doing something about it. He drew our attention to that. His unconditional love for people made him take that act of compassion, that potential sacrifice, that risk. He got jailed out there. He took all kinds of risks out there. But it drew our attention to that issue. We're the global leader. It's no coincidences. I wrote this down right after the water squirted out of my ears. There are no coincidences. There's no coincidence that you're born in the global leader of the world. There's no coincidence that you're here in America. There's no coincidence that the impressions that you make, foreigners will follow. It's no coincidence. That means you have an opportunity. You have an opportunity for real leadership. And you don't have to take it on like, oh my God, I got to lead everybody. Just lead yourself and let the ripple effects do the work. You understand what I'm saying? So what's true understanding? True understanding really makes you act. Malala understanding. The girls in Pakistan, they don't have education. She's fighting for the Pakistan education. It's worth it. It's bigger than her. So many lives that could be empowered and liberated by her taking her one life to do this. They shot her in the head. She survived and she said it was because of people's prayers. Well, do your research. Do some spiritual science research. You'll see people who've had out-of-body experiences, and then they're watching people who are praying for their souls right there. They'll see that that person's soul lights up. I've read it in multiple books now, that your soul lights up when you pray, and spirits who are not in their bodies can see it. And surely your signal gets sent out. So now, how much have you harnessed your connection? Are you about to cry if your prayers don't get answered immediately? Does that mean that you're going to stop believing? Well, if this was the first time that you believed and tried to pray in about 2-3 years, give it some more time. Be a little more patient. Harness your connection a little bit more. Because trust me, you are lighting up. And they do see you. MLK, he was inspired, took action. Took action and led us to a higher state of being. Led us to a place where we can collaborate. He led us to accept the truth that we transcend race, that we're all on the same team. So unconditional love for yourself, for others, it organically leads you to self-understanding. When you unconditionally love yourself, when you understand the truth of yourself, suddenly you see that in others. Suddenly you see all the different ways that we get in our way, and you can relate to everybody. And so the more you understand yourself, the more you understand others. The less like you are to harm others, because that's really like harming yourself. You're my brothers and sisters. Can't hurt you. Why? Where's the benefit? Where's the benefit? That would be totally unevolved. War is so base. We don't need it anymore. You see what I'm saying? And we could actually move from it. We see the practical applications of love. Spiritual healers across the board use love. They get to it by a process of developing their self-understanding through connecting with their higher self habitually, practicing acts of unconditional love daily, habitually. Integration is how you get there. So people like Carolyn Myss, Anatomy of the Spirit, people like Doreen Virtue, she wrote a bunch of books about angels, right? People like Barbara Ann Brennan, people like Boo Newell, she's local. People like Awilda Rivera, she's local. Ask any of them from empirical evidence, hey, what do you use when you heal people? And they'll say love. Love is totally their protection. They'll tell you story and story and story about how love changed lives and how they channeled that change into somebody's life. So when your protection works, please give gratitude. If you have a day where you're relatively pain-free, where you're relatively inconvenience-free, don't just breathe on by like that didn't just happen. That was a protected day. Everything worked. Somebody's watching over you. Because the guy right there, he got into a car accident. And I just heard a phone call that somebody lost their baby in a miscarriage. But today, I was good. Today, I was protected. Thank you. And you get more. Think about when you give people something they don't say thank you. You want to give them more? All right. So, why do I talk about love? Because from my resume, I could be doing anything. I could go back to business school right now. I can come out and I can work for a private equity firm. In about 3 years, I'll be a millionaire. And I actually don't have to talk to anybody that I truly care about. I don't have to try to care about anybody. I don't really have to try to help anybody. I could donate to one charity and go play golf. So many people do it. But why am I talking about love? It's a spiritual thing. It connects us all. It binds us all intuitively. It's all inclusive. It's non-judgmental. It's accepting. And in that way, it's evolutionary, because we're the ones that have to improve our behavior. We're the ones that have to set the example so that people follow our new swag. People follow our new style. People see our new trends and they follow suit. We have to lead the change. So it's really important to make the fruits of unconditional love popular and cool. Do it in your own special way. Make unconditional love cool and popular. Do it with your age groups. We're all at various ages, but we're all on the same team. We're all here to push the needle forward just a little bit more, because we've all benefited from where other people have come. And we see the work that needs to be done. And all we got to do is do a little work on ourselves, and that has ripple effects. It's okay. We just start there. Here we go. I'm going to tie it all together with a poem, if that's okay. This poem is called Give Me Inspiration. Give me inspiration, or give me death. I'll be inspired just the same. From the lessons I did not learn, I'll choose to live and learn again. Give me truth, or give me nothing. For in truth, I see love. Give me wisdom, so I can know that I come from above. Give me unity, or give me solitude, for harmony is key to balance. Give me intuition to protect me and guide me through this challenge for us to be, this challenge for us to grow, this challenge to learn and unlearn everything you know, this challenge to go within, this challenge to seek the truth, this challenge to access the divine potential that resides in you. The time for action is now. The time for change is here. It's time to change the little things, the doubts and all the fears. It's time to be the change. It's time to be the truth. It's time to be the shining light that resides in you. You are yet to be defined. Your future is untold. You co-create your destiny, and the truth of you unfolds. You make meaning in your life. You set value by your ways. The way you lead yourself defines the meaning of your days. Lead yourself to intuition. Lead yourself towards the truth. Lead yourself towards the courage to evolve and lead the group. Be the leaders of tomorrow by being leaders of today. Be strong leaders with compassion, and we will see a brighter day. A day without the terror. A day without the fear. A day without the heartache of peers killing peers. You see, Chicagoland is real. Afghanistan is too. We kill ourselves in the Middle East, And we do it in our schools. No longer can we act like we are unaffected. Without love in our hearts, we travel unprotected. So awaken to your power. Awaken to your truth. Awaken to your higher self, the leader that's in you. My name is Wendel Matthews. I'm an inspirer. Thank you for listening, and I'll be back. I hope to see you again.
Wonderful. I am so inspired, and I'm also filled with love, and thank you for that. That was absolutely wonderful.